A little over 400,000 people still waking up in the dark this morning across New York and Long Island. Of course, those numbers changing with some of the new outages this morning. Debris and downed trees from Tropical Storm Isaias remain scattered across neighborhoods, making it difficult, as we've been telling you, for crews to access certain areas. Sanitation crews, they're now involved, helping clear the way as well. Commissioner Kathryn Garcia joining me now with a bit of a progress report. So good morning to you, Commissioner. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So out of the 6,300 sanitation workers within the department, how many of them actually have been assisting in the cleanup since Tuesday?
So we have used about 600 sanitation workers per day to make sure that we are going after the trees. We have reports of nearly 7,000 conditions that are ready for us to pick up. Of those, we've done about half, and we will continue to do probably between 1,500 and 2,000 every single 24-hour period.
So how do you decide where exactly to dispatch the crews? Are there certain areas that are priority this morning based on those with health needs? Or are you listening to what the utility companies and OEM is telling you? How do you decide?
So really it's driven by OEM and the Parks Department telling us where things have already been cut down so that we can pick them up. But it is not unusual that Eastern Queens usually takes a very big hit when we have a wind event that brings down trees. That is, again, true. They are the most conditions in that particular area. But we are across the city in force to make sure that we are picking up all of these trees.
So to be clear, you're not like cutting them up in the middle of the street. You're waiting for the Parks Department or somebody to move them off to the side, and then you go and remove those.
Right. We are not the chainsaw crew. We come behind them and pick up everything and take it away.
Okay, understood. So did you have preparations in play for this storm as you would for, say, a snow emergency, or is that the snow more your responsibility than something like a downed tree?
So we did absolutely have preparations that we did. We retrofitted our equipment with claws so that we can pick up the limbs. But different than a snow emergency, during a snow emergency, we are actually out there during the entire weather event. But we absolutely made sure that we were going to be prepared to roll out the door once the wind and rain had stopped.
So I guess because it is a team effort, I'd like to know what your message is for those frustrated folks in Queens and other areas who are like, when are they going to come remove my tree so that I can get my power back on?
Right. No, I really feel for folks who, like, during the middle of a pandemic, also dealing with power outages. Many people are home trying to work from home, and it's hot. But we are definitely out there aggressively trying to move through this. I know that OEM is coordinating with Con Ed. But the one thing I would say is if you do see down power lines, please assume that they are live power lines so that nobody gets hurt.
And let's switch over to garbage collection as well, because that's impacted. It has not been reduced. We're still getting a lot of complaints, though. And we discussed this a little bit last time you were on about mounds of garbage piled up in certain neighborhoods. So I guess why is that, and what's being done to address the issue of these big garbage piles?
So the thing that we have primarily had our budget cut on is cleaning, which means we have fewer people going out and collecting your corner litter baskets, which has created a lot of piles at litter baskets. We have moved some resources around to try and rebalance that. But we really need the public to make sure that they are not misusing the litter baskets and putting either residential or business garbage in those litter baskets. It's really for pedestrian waste. But this is going to be a struggle as we move forward because of how severe the budget cuts were that we took in this particular budget. Regular collection of refuse and recycling is ongoing. We did have some challenges yesterday getting through areas of, say, Eastern Queens where the trucks couldn't get through because of trees down. But we are continuing to collect every single day. Yeah,
so $100 million of the agency's budget was actually cut. So when you say there are fewer crews, how many did you have to reduce?
So our head count was reduced by about 411 sanitation workers.
Oh, wow. Okay. But that doesn't affect overall garbage pickup, right? For the rest of not just the corner receptacles. We're talking about outside apartment buildings and houses.
No, we have not reduced any of the collections outside apartment buildings or regular residential. And I hope to never have to. But, this has been a really challenging financial time. And I think that hopefully the federal government will come through. But, hope is not a strategy.
And I just want to squeeze in a question here because we always talk about your double duty. You're also the food czar, the commissioner, the city food czar. Food, obviously a huge issue right now. Pantries flooded with families needing help. So where do you see the most need, and what is being done to help those families?
So, I mean, we are running several different programs to address the food need across the city. One is that there are over 400 locations at the city's public schools where anyone can go and get a meal in the grab and go to make sure that we are covering all neighborhoods. We also have done emergency delivery primarily to seniors in the homebound, and that is ongoing and continues. And we've done over 120 million meals at this point in time. And we've also distributed additional funding to the pantries, some of whom are new to the pantry system.
Right.
One of the things I would say that is heartwarming is you really saw communities identify need and step into places where there might not traditionally have been pantries.
Understood. Commissioner Kathryn Garcia, I always appreciate you coming on, explaining both of the issues that you're in charge of, and thank all the sanitation workers who are out there working hard.
I absolutely will. They've been doing great.
All right. Take care. Enjoy your weekend.